So with it being already in the 20s of October, we are getting less than 10 days away. I mean, heck yeah, we're already way less than 10 days away. That's pretty crazy. And so with that, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the Market Watch to see how everything is looking, at least in America, with the pricing for Riftbound. All of that and more starting right now. So with that being said, yes, there is going to be a difficult time with maybe collecting this game, and singles are going to be a really big deal on how this is to go. It can be a little bit difficult. People getting, the boxes and things of that nature, their local game stores might not have had a huge allocation, if at all. And so that can be a little bit difficult and disheartening. I was lucky enough where, my local game store ended up doing a pre-sale for 50 of the boxes, limiting everyone to just one in this case, and was able to get a box that way. But most of our even local game stores in the area as well, and luckily Utah does have a lot of them because we are dirty in general. That's how we are. But anyway, with that, there is a lot of people who are a lot of stores that are doing the first come first serve, where they're like, we only got 35 boxes. It's like that's it. And so we're only going to be allowing everyone to maybe put one each on opening day, and we're going to be doing first come first serve kind of thing. Like, yeah, totally get that. And that can be a little bit disheartening where you're like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Because I can't get these cards. I can't get these packs. Will I even be able to play competitively? In America, we have Houston coming up in December. We have Vegas and Orlando coming up. Well, Orlando's in December as well. Vegas is in November, late November. And it's like, oh, well, we literally only have, less than 30 days to prepare for Vegas in general. That's a big deal. And it's like, how am I going to be able to build my deck, play test properly, and prepare for these events, or even just getting the local game scene going, where a lot of people are like, well, I got my deck that I got on opening day with the 2 packs that I was able to upgrade, but that's a little bit lackluster when you are going against something in the meta where someone was able to get the cards, and that can be disheartening as well. But with that being said, there's a lot that can be happening here with trying to get packs and trying to also just get cards online. And so I wanted to go ahead and take a look at the online presence that we have currently on TCGplayer. Now, of course, if you're in Europe, there's going to be different avenues which you are going to get your cards, Card Kingdom, or wherever else that you may be. But this is still going to be a pretty good outlier, especially as we get closer. There's a lot of listings and things of that nature to really show what this could mean for us. And it is a little interesting to be able to see what all of these are starting to kind of be priced at. Boxes, for example, are coming down a little bit where, like, for example, at my local game store, after taxes and everything, I was able to go ahead and get my box for about 150 after taxes. Um, I have seen some people, Dr. Rick Marshall posting on X, for example, where his local game stores were selling them for 200 a piece as well, which is a little bit disheartening, especially if they, intentionally did that markup or whatever it might be. We don't know the story with that, but still, 200 is a lot, especially to try to get into a game. But this is why, like, I'm getting a little bit of encouraged when I see how this all looks. For example, the Origins booster display 212, that is a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but at least there's 24 listings, and there could potentially even be more, which will drive that price down. It wouldn't surprise me if at least on opening day or things of that nature that you see this price at around maybe 180. Again, this is speculation, but it could be something where the booster boxes kind of flood the market online, at least, especially on TCGplayer, and brings the price down enough where you're not necessarily paying an arm and a leg for a booster box. But still, even more so at a lot of these prices, Raven Bloom Student, which is going to be in a lot of decks, just because of how good of a card it is going for 125. You're going to be seeing stuff, for example, with it, where, again, this is just one listing, but there's other things like Cloudfield, Sunlit Guardian that has multiple listings. Now, this is going to be one of the first ones. It's already out of stock, for example, but it is something that is interesting because even, what was it, like a week ago, there was about five different listings and about 12 total of Thousand Tail Watcher. And that's very interesting as well to see it going for around $20. Now that's really not too bad of a price. 20 bucks is not bad, especially for such a game-changing card and a card that is also played in multiple decks. You're going to be seeing it pretty much in any blue deck is going to be running it. So that is a big deal right there. Now, Primal Strength is going to be another one where you're just like, that is a little bit up there, but I mean that's okay. It is a rare in this case, and that's going to be a lot to deal with. Again, cards are going to be a little bit difficult, but Primal Strength you are luckily only going to be running 3 of, maybe 2 of in this case, if you're building Master Yi, and that can be a really big deal. The sad part over here, of course, is going to be Proving Grounds Origins, just due to the fact that it is still at $91 when you could get it at Riot for 45. I was able to pick up one box, luckily, and it was on sale for an incredibly long time. Not a lot of people ended up picking it up, and it ended up not going, being sold out for, what was it, like a month and a half, even almost probably 2 months in this case. And so it's really interesting to see it go up to $91. Again, this is probably something my local game store is like, yeah, we got so few of them that we're actually saving them for events and things of that nature, potential pricing or something along those lines. I don't remember exactly how they said it, so don't quote me on that. But the scarcity of these on release are going to be a little bit higher, and that's a little bit concerning, especially when so many people want to play Master Yi, for example. That can be, and that's tough to try to go through. Now, a lot of these are going to be interesting and pretty low in price. You're seeing a lot of this at 50 cents, 49 cents. Even Charm, it's common, of course, but at 49 cents. Windwall, a little bit higher in rarity, but going at 125. That's going to be something that you side in your deck. Call to Glory, really good in set. Again, common, 50 cents. And that kind of seems to be the baseline. I had my friend Zach, who at the locals was already starting to go on TCGplayer and just be like, I'm just going to collect singles. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to buy a box. I'm not going to do anything. I've already got the deck list that I want to build. And he said the prices have been fluctuating for him the closer that we've been getting. Last, like a week and a half ago, he looked at it and asked me to build competitively was about, what was it? It was about $90. When he looked this time, it was at about 145. So you're going to see, again, that fluctuation. There's going to be some cards that I do believe are going to be going up in price as soon as it comes. That could very well be Darius, Thousand Tail Watcher, Falling Star. Those are going to be kind of the big three just because of how difficult they might be to collect and how big of an impact, how many decks are going to be playing them in this meta. Price is going to be one of the number one cards or number one sets that are going to be a part of this. And so that can be very difficult to try to be a part of and get into because the demand is going to be so high. It is going to drive the price up. But again, these prices all in all are actually looking pretty good. Now, again, out of stock for Tasty Faithful, that is going to be a very meta card in the Master Yi deck. He's made a very big climb in that recently. Teemo's even at 588, pretty interesting as well. Spectral Matron, really good card. Great for certain options. But even Set, for example, is being at $10 with one listing. And so that's going to be really good to see. And really nice to see as well that it's not going to be driving up to $20, $30 just to get the legend card so that you could actually play the deck as a whole. Not even counting Set in this case. The champion decks Lee Sin, for example, going to be a little bit more expensive. We're finding these decks at local game stores at around $19. Online for about $23. Again, not very bad. Hextech Ray, common card, 50 cents. And we're going through this more than anything just to show you guys that a lot of these prices are even going to fall, especially as people go ahead and just open the pack and sell stuff. That's going to be the biggest thing. Now, yes, there are going to be a good amount of people who are, definitely opening the packs to build decks and whatnot, or try to collect and even sell at a profit, or, sell the high-valued cards and whatnot, and to each their own on that. We have scalpers for a reason. But still, I do think even a lot of these prices can even come down as well when we get to release and get to see how these go. Ride the Wind with Annie, for example, is going to be a really good card. 50 cents. Reaver's Road, $1.25. Dr. Mundo, I mean, again, Teemo, very good card in Teemo. You're seeing it maybe in some Kaisa deck to lock things down at the end game and things of that nature. Really good card in general. $10 card right there with 2 listings. And again, with these 2 listings, these are people who are, I don't know how they're able to project what they actually have, but some of them have like between 5 like even 15 cards in their shop is what they're posted as. Arena's greatest 125. Booster packs is a little bit disheartening, going for $15 with 5 listings. And again, those are all that are going to be in this case. Here's 143 packs at $18. Not only that, we've seen kind of like how it climbed up in this case, stayed at 11 for a while. But again, look, here we go. 43 at $18. Again, very well could just be scalpers in this case, trying to get things going and selling at a premium in this case. But still, again, I feel like this price can come down. Again, though, do I think it's going to be at like the $6, $7 that a pack normally does cost? Not online at sports that for one, but that's just how it is. Now, otherwise, everything is actually pretty standard. Timo being $10, not bad at all. Annie is going to be a little bit more tough one to get just because she is an exclusive the um, to the 4-player box in this case. Soul Gorger is really interesting to see at $20, but that's probably just because of the hype more than anything. Anivia being at $10, that makes a lot of sense. Dragon's Rage, really good looking card. Again, I think if I remember correctly, that is an exclusive from this as well, and so that's going to be at a little bit of a premium. Foxfire, really good card, $35. So that is hot. But right now, that's so far the most expensive card that we've seen outside of the alt arts. And the alt arts, the order rune or the runes in general, just with alt arts, are going to be a big deal. Trying to get that going, because even in China, we're seeing those go for between 25 and 35 for the foiled runes in this case. Really great stuff. Icathian Rain, that's going to be probably a little bit up there, and things of that nature. And then, of course, even Rasha's at $10. But still, again, we're taking a look at this and we're seeing what these prices are at. And it's a little bit encouraging. I do feel like that a lot of this game is going to be collectible. Now, Smokescreen is probably going to be going up to a couple of bucks. Void Seeker could potentially even be going up to, $5, $6 each, just because, again, of how many people are trying to get it. Right, Mother, that's actually a pretty fair price. And things of that nature. But everything is looking good. Cleave could very well be going up. It is a common, but it does play in multiple decks as well. You see it in the Darius deck. You see it in Kaisa deck. And that's going to be an interesting thing to be able to see. Kaisa right now out of stock, but was being sold at $10. Out of stock for Falling Star was being sold for $15. And so it can be a little bit scary, especially on release. People who open their packs real quick and then go online and buy whatever else they have or want to have in that case. That can be very difficult. But again, even with the common cards, the stuff that aren't necessarily as stapled as what we normally see, this is very encouraging to see and very exciting. Now, of course, all of these alt art stuff is going to be interesting to be able to be a part of. Faded Hook is going to be something that might be a little bit more premium of a price. They haven't even had any listed on the market in general. Misfortune, same thing. And so, again, that's going to be pretty much it for the market. But again, with that being said, I am actually being pretty encouraged by this and seeing where all of this is going. A lot of these prices, again, are going to be, around $1.25, maybe even less, especially as this hits market. There very well could be an initial spike where everyone floods the market to go ahead and try to buy everything on day one that they need to build their deck. And that can be a little bit disheartening because you might see Falling Stars go from like 15 all the way up to, like 30 to try to, get people their cards on day one. That's a little bit scary. The nice part is, though, at least, we don't necessarily have 4 ofs needed in each deck. This game is a 40 card deck with 3 cards max of each. That's a lot different than what you see in like Magic the Gathering, Lorcana, and that nature, which is really good because that can help also just keep the price down where you don't need as much. Even side decks, for example, being 8 cards is all, that can also help keep the price down. And so it's going to be really interesting to see. The Legends might be a little bit more premium of price. I could see that going up, especially Kaisa. You can see Kaisa going up to, $15, $20 just for the Legend card. And so with that, the regular Kaisa card in general is out of stock as well. And so that's going to be interesting because we haven't had literally any listed whatsoever, which is a little bit interesting to be able to see. And Kaisa could very well be probably the most expensive card in this set, and so we got to be a little bit careful about how we go about that, because we, again, drop probably an arm and leg to try to build a competitive deck. And so still though, again, I do think this is a little bit encouraging. This game, we were a little bit worried with how difficult this game would be to collect, and rightfully so. With when Riot came and released the first day one of boxes and literally sold out within the first 3 minutes, that was really disheartening and difficult to do. They sold the second wave, and that sold out in a couple of minutes. But at the same time, local game stores have been able to get a lot of product, and I do think the online market will still be mostly healthy. Asterisk there. Write that down. Write that there. However, wherever you want to put it. And so that can be the difficult part with that. And so it's going to be fun to see how this goes, and hopefully it's not going to be such a break the bank. I've been very fortunate with the friends that I've been able to make, where we're helping each other out. I'm like, dude, with the boxes that I've been able to get, I've gotten 2 boxes, and I'm going to try to get 1 more on release. I'm like, I've gotten 3 boxes. Anything that I pull that I might need, I'll trade to you guys. And anything that they might, or I might need that they have and whatnot, they'll trade to me, and vice versa, and things of that nature. So that's been really great to see. And again, the friends that I've been able to already make in this game have been game, and it's been so fun to be able to meet just really great people and to come together in a game with people who just want to play this game, whether they just love League of Legends and want to get close to the game and play it in a different way than how they've been playing it online. To those who just love trading card games and love the idea of the battlefields and the different dynamics. It's so fun to be able to see and to be able to make these new friends. And I am honestly just blessed to be able to get to know these guys and to enjoy a launch of a new trading card game with them. It's been an absolute blast. And so I can't wait to see how this all continues to grow and how it continues to be. We're going to be doing regular market watches as well. So again, like and subscribe if you want to see more of those. We have a lot of gameplay videos and also even just a lot of strategy videos and things of that nature coming your way as we get ever closer to this game releasing. So go ahead and look forward to that. But until next time, guys, have a good one.